Alright, hey guys, Fiddle Ferret here, and welcome back to my first in a series of manga recommendations. And today we're going to be taking a look at a shoujo series which I'm not even the biggest shoujo genre reader, but this series was so impactful on me when I read it that I just needed to do a video on it. So today, obviously, we're going to be talking about My Love Story. So, My Love Story seems to take a lot of the traditional shoujo type tropes and kind of chuck them out the window. It's like, okay, we know the tropes. It's so difficult to take a genre that has been so tread, and I mean it's the same thing with any genre, but taking something that's so tread down and so used and making it new and unique. And I think when you find series like that that are able to do it and do it well, that's something that's very hard to find, because sometimes you find series that do it and it's different and edgy, but that doesn't mean it's good or better. But with My Love Story, I think it really takes shoujo to a new level, at least in my mind, for something that I really enjoyed. So before we get over ahead of ourselves, My Love Story revolves around our main character, Gota, and he is a very large man, to the point where you get gorilla jokes and monkey jokes. He's huge, he looks intimidating, you know, big head, big hands, big butt, I mean just everything. But he is really a really kind of soft, gentle, loving guy. He's that big, it's that, you know, usual kind of big, scary looking dude that ends up being a teddy bear type of character. He's just a great friend and all that kind of thing. Gota's that character that everyone kind of likes and kind of can relate to in certain ways. And so he is going into high school, and he has a best friend, and so basically Gota isn't what you would call necessarily the most attractive guy, and his best friend is drop down gorgeous, the one that all the girls fawn over. And so every girl he's ever fallen in love with, they seem to fall in love with his best friend, and his best friend just flat out rejects all of them, which he always is confused about. But so if everyone's confused, you kind of get it talked about a lot about, you know, these two together, they don't look very well together. You got the tall, handsome, popular guy and the big, huge gorilla guy that are best friends. And so they've been childhood friends for a long time. They grew up together. So basically one day, they're going to school, I believe, either coming home or going from school, and Gota notices that a girl is basically being groped by this creep on the train. So as the chivalrous person he is, he jumps in, he saves her, and as you get the love blossoms as the angels sing, and he meets Yamato. And so Yamato is this petite, the cutest character of all time. Like, I think Yamato is like the cutest character ever. She's so adorable. And so he saves her from the train, and he ends up, they take him to the train station, he ends up punching the guy, and he gets suspended from school because he disses Yamato. Anyway, so this sets into motion our story of Yamato and Gota. So, Gota he's sort of dense, you know, so he's dense in the fact that he misinterprets, because what makes My Love Story unique is that it doesn't spend the entire story the whole plot developing as these two slowly fall in love, and the very end of the story they realize their love for each other and blah blah. No, this is like, no, we're throwing it out the window. I think it's like in the first or second volume, they're in a relationship. Yamato and Gota are going out, which is why it's called My Love Story. They're a very odd couple, and so a lot of the story revolves around, you know, because our main character, he's sort of dense, he's never dated anyone before, he can be a bit monkey-like, but he's likable, he's heroic, he's kind of what every girl would really probably dream of, and Yamato thinks he is just the coolest thing since sliced bread. She looks at him and just, the angels, like I said, sing. And so, this is kind of where a lot of My Love Story revolves around, is these two characters that are very different, but that form such a bond right from like when they first meet, that it just draws you into the whole story because it seems so genuine. And it's so different, and it kind of just takes all those tropes that you'll get in shoujo and romance, manga, and anime, and it takes them and it just twists them. You still get a lot of the same scenarios, but you've never seen the scenarios like this. And so it takes, the story goes very well because you get most of your interaction from the three characters, from Yamato and Gota and the best friend Sunakawa or something like that. I think I'm saying that slightly wrong. You guys know by now that I can't pronounce those names. I'm probably saying Gota's name wrong. Well, what do I know? So the story takes a lot of what at least I find frustrating with a lot of shoujo, and it's like, it does it a little bit at the beginning where it's like, oh, she likes you, just, she doesn't like him, she likes you. And I was preparing for that to go on. I was like, if this is just the whole story is always about how, like, he thinks she likes his best friend, I'm like, I don't think I'm going to enjoy it. But it surprised me with the fact that almost right from the get-go, before it frustrates you that through the whole story, it doesn't make you suffer through all that. It changes it, and it basically becomes a story of, you know, oh no, he likes my best friend, and here's the funny of, but she actually likes you, ha 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 ha. No. No, it goes right into these very different people being in a relationship, and how the everyday life events from that goes from two people who are so different. Because one of the things I actually like most, like one of the things that happen in the story, that happens during the volumes, and it happens all the time, is whenever there's a new transition, or a new plot, or a new day starts, or whatever, when Yamato and Gota first meet, basically, I love the dialogue you have in his head, because he knows he's not the smartest guy in the world, and sometimes it even frustrates him because he doesn't really understand all the situations that are always happening. But he always has this dialogue in his head, and she always does whatever she does, no matter what it is. At some point during the day, he'll just have this moment where it's like lightning strikes, and he's just like, I love her. And I love that part about this, because you just get this glimpse into his head, and he's just like, my gosh, I just think she's the best thing in the world. And that's a really nice thing that doesn't always happen with shoujo. You have to wait till the very end. And this one's like, no, she's like the best thing that's ever happened to me. And whenever we're together, I think it. And just like any good shoujo manga is gonna have, it has lots of serious moments. Definitely more funny, you know, kind of slapstick moments than the serious moments. But when it is serious, it does a very good job of it. Between some of the plot lines that happen with Gota's best friend, and just misunderstandings that happen between the two, and the very real emotions that you can understand, and that's the biggest thing about this manga. You understand where the characters are coming from. It's not some unbelievable, that would probably never really happen. It's true feelings that you're like, I feel bad for them, or I understand what he's going through, and they're relatable, and that's why it's such an enjoyable manga to read. The story for My Love Story is done by Kazuna Kawahara, something like that, who also wrote another very popular shoujo series, High School Debut, which I believe ran for a while, and I just started reading it because I liked High School My Love Story so much. So that's another series I've picked up, and that's some of her other works. Not the same artist, but the same author for the story. And so that's just a few of the reasons why I think My Love Story really sets itself apart from other shoujo series. The relationships between Gota and his best friend, and between Yamato, and just how honest and cute, Yamato, it's like, oh, it's so adorable. It's just fun to read. It's one of those stories where while you're reading it, you just kind of get a little smile on your face. And so far right now, 7 volumes are out in English. I believe Volume 7 just came out in January of this year, obviously. And so, it's been really good. I don't know how many other volumes are out. I know the anime is now getting English dub as well, so that should be interesting. But this is just a series I recommend to anyone who likes shoujo and looking for something different, or just a shoujo in general, because it really sets itself apart from other shoujo in my opinion, which is why I wanted to recommend it to you guys. But anyway, guys, I do some manga first takes, and I do hauls, and I do reviews and figure unboxings, and all that kind of thing. I'd like to do some more top 10 lists because that's something everybody loves to see. But anyway, guys, go ahead and please leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. It means a lot to me, and it also helps my video get out to a greater audience, and that's always a good thing, I guess. My videos get more views. Yeah, it's great. So anyway, guys, I do hope you enjoyed this video, and I will probably see you back on the prowl next time. Bye-bye!